and your willingness to talk a little bit about some of this stuff. You guys talk about Kobe. You do it when you break huddles. You did it last year when you wore the Mamba jerseys. You guys have celebrated him in the year. How did that help the grieving process, and why is it important to continue to do that as a team?
Uh, Man, it's a saying that says time heals all. And as devastating and as tragic as it was and still is to all of us involved with it. Only time. And it takes time. Everyone has their own grieving process. Everyone understands how everyone individually is different, and everyone is gonna grieve differently, and how long it takes them to come to grips with it. That's up to them and that individual. All you can do as a friend or a loved one or anyone, in our brotherhood and our familyhood that we have here with the Lakers organization, is to put an arm around someone when they need it. So, us being able to remember him and wear the jerseys during the postseason, have the postseason success we had, like as you guys saw with those uniforms, or we got a lot of guys that wear shoes still to this day. Obviously, I'm able to wear the 2-4 on my finger every night. And then when we play in Staples Center, you see that 8 and 2-4 in the rafters, and be able to just live his legacy on. It's a lot of things that die in this world, but legends never die. And
You played very well tonight, but you know, given the restrictions about the around the pandemic, how tough was it to be home but not be able to kind of do the things you like, what you missed, and did it kind of bring back memories of last time you were here, maybe even the All-Star game last year?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, usually when I come home, I get to see my family, and um, they come to the games and support me. Being in the Western Conference my entire career so far, I've only come home once, and so during the season, and so I miss seeing them in the stands, and coming out and cheering me on and supporting me. So that was different, but still having that feeling of playing in the United Center, a place where I've been several times in early career, high school, and things like that, and McDonald's game, and had a chance to come watch some games when D-Rose early years and things like that. So it's always good to play on this floor.
JD, first of all, did you get your Giordano's?
Nah, I switched it up. That's probably what it was. I switched it up this time. I might get some to go for the plane and eat it while I watch the Packers win tomorrow. So, I switched it up a little bit.
Yeah, I got to follow though. In what ways, if any, have you maybe recognized the magnitude of Kobe's impact beyond what you already knew about him leading up to last January?
I didn't know that he reached the basketball community, and inspired the basketball community, but I didn't know, and I knew he was very, very, known and popular, but I didn't know that he impacted so many people's lives outside of basketball, from, soccer to football to players overseas to, people who don't even play sports. They're all talking about the Mamba mentality, and I didn't know how impactful he was worldwide. When people, pass, people usually, come up with all these things about, how great he was and he inspired me and such. But I think that, he really inspired so many people, and that's why so many people feel the pain that the basketball community felt, last year, and it's still feeling it. So as we approach his, 1-year anniversary, it saddens our hearts to actually come to the realization that he's gone. I know I still have, trouble with it. You still just can't believe it, especially when you're really close to him. And I think that, just playing back everything on that day, and then you fast forward to a year later, where we're going back to Philly and on almost the same exact day. It's just crazy, to really come to the realization that he's gone. So I think, to answer your question, I just didn't realize how many people he impacted worldwide. That's outside of the basketball community.
Bill? Hey, D. You and LeBron kind of took the torch from Kobe with this franchise and to be the faces of and the superstars leading this franchise. What kind of weight was that on you last year to be, a face of this organization in the face of that tragedy? And how do you think it might have changed your relationship with, both the city of Los Angeles and with the organization?
I don't think it was that much pressure at all. I leaned on Brian leaned on me, and the organization just kind of helped us out with that. And it wasn't, pressure of we got to do what Kobe did. Because, before the tragedy, he would just tell us to go out there and just play basketball. There's no pressure. I would talk to him all the time, and, and then when the tragedy happened, it was more so, let's do it for him, and that's what we end up doing all last year. And even when we play now, I mean, it's still in the back of our minds that we're playing for, Kobe, his family, and to help the city of LA. And I think it just brought a ton of joy to our city when we won, because the entire year it was, heavy hearts about the tragedy, and when you win, it kind of just brings a little bit of joy back to the city. Doing it for Kobe, for the organization, for the city. And it kind of made it all, while we were playing the bubble and everything we went through that year, it made it worth it, because we know that we fought to the end for a purpose, and it wasn't just for ourselves. It was for the Bryant family, and we were able to get that accomplished.
We'll take one more question. Dan?
Yeah, along those lines, I mean, you just said it yourself. I mean, you guys had that moment in the bubble, right? Like that you had set out that goal that we were going to do this for Kobe. How did those moments along the way, things like the shot in the Mamba jersey and those things, when did that stuff like really land for you that this was a title that was bigger than just yourselves? Do you still think about that?
Yeah, we still think about it. And it was January 26th of last year when it happened. From that point on, we were like, we have a purpose. And from that day on, to this day, we Mamba on 3 anytime we bring it in, because we still want to recognize, and that he's a part of our organization. And ever since the tragedy happened, we had a mindset that this is bigger than, ourselves. And we had that approach. And there was so many signs in the bubble that he was there with us. Like, we had a different approach every time we had the jerseys on. I think it was game 5 of Portland, scored 24-8. We had games in the season where it was signs, on the scoreboard that, Kobe was with us, me subconsciously yelling Kobe when I made the shot. Like, it's just a lot of things that happened that we didn't even, expect to happen. And it just happened. And that showed us that it was destined for us to win the championship for him. And that was our approach last year. And it's the same.